Welcome back to Simright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew this simple triangular cowl top. So you can see the cowl effect right there, and you can see the triangular part of it. My fabric is crepe, and I'm using 1 yard of crepe for this project. So whether you're on the plus size or normal size, 1 yard is very much enough for this project. So crepe comes at length of 60 inches. The length is 60 inches. So this part is the yardage. The yardage is 36 inches. So the part I'm touching now is the yardage. So the 36 inches, you are going to take it to the other end of 36 inches, which is the 1 yard. So I'm placing it on fold. Here you can see the open part of it. So here is the open part of it. And I've placed the fabric, the 1 yard of crepe fabric on fold. So here is the folded part of it. So now you are going to pick up the edge of that folded part and make a triangle with it. So I want you to see how I'm making the triangle. You see how I'm making it from that folded edge to meet up the open edge. So make sure the triangle is well formed. So after placing the triangle, you will definitely have a little excess. Okay, so that excess you are seeing right there, we are going to cut it off. So now after arranging it, this is what we got. So I'm going to turn this around. The folded edge, let it be at the edge of your table. Okay, and form a straight line with the table, as you can see. So after forming the straight line, you can see the part that we are cutting off. So we are going to start taking our measurement for the neckline. So now I'm going to make use of 7.5 inches for my neckline. You can make use of 7 inches too. So you just make a straight line on that point. So you can see how I made that line. Then you can measure 3 or 2 inches. If you don't want it so deep, you can make 2 inches. But don't curve it too much so the neckline will not be wide. Okay, so you can make it a little bit shallow. So this part is very important. If you don't want the neckline to be very deep, just make it a little bit shallow. So I'm going to cut it out, as you can see right here. So I'm going to cut the neckline. So after cutting the neckline, this is what I got. So next, I'm going to cut out that excess I told you we are not going to use. But before that, I want to open that folded edge first. So I'm going to open the folded edge, and then I'll now cut that excess. We don't need it. So 1 yard is just enough, okay? If you want to make this simple top, use 1 yard for it. So now you can see what I got, and this is the pointy part of the triangle. That is the center front I'm touching right now. So we are going to start marking out how we are going to stitch this dress. So first, at this edge, you are going to measure your armhole. This is my neckline, and this is my shoulder seam line. My arm is going to come out from the end of that piece. So I'm going to mark 7 inches for my arm opening, and I will make a notch at that point. So just measure 7 inches from that down piece and make a notch. So after making the notch, as you can see right there, that will serve as the arm opening. So now we are going to stitch close that part and leave the arm opening open at that point. Now the next thing we are going to do again is to take the measurement of where your hip circumference lies, starting from the down part. Then you add 2 inches to your hip circumference divided by 4. So my hip circumference divided by 4 is 12 inches. I added 2 inches and measured from the center front. So I marked 14 inches. So wherever you have your hip circumference divided by 4, add 2 inches to your hip circumference divided by 4 and make a notch at that point. So here I'm making a notch, as you can see right there. That is the position of my hip. So no matter what your size is, just locate your hip on this triangle and you get it very perfectly. So I'm going to open up the dress because we have placed our hip notch and our armhole notch. So I'll open it up so we begin to sew. So like I said, it's a very simple top. So you can see the neckline is somehow very big, so I noticed it went so deep. So what you are going to do is to make it very shallow. You can use 2 inches for your neckline. Now I'm going to open up the dress. I've seen all my notches. I've identified all my notches now, so I'll use my bias to finish up the neckline. So I'm going to pick each neckline with my bias and I'm going to stitch accordingly. So after stitching, this is what I got. I'm going to fold it in the second time. Of course, you know how to sew your bias to your neckline to finish up your neckline. So I'll just go to my machine now and I'm going to stitch all around, as you can see. So I'm going to stitch the neckline for both of them. So here is what I have on one of them, and then I'm going to pick up the other one too, and we are going to start closing up the triangular dress. So I'll place the other piece on top of it like this, and we are going to secure the shoulder seam area with pin right now. So I'll just go ahead and stitch down to the point I have my notch for my sleeve opening. So you can see my notch for the sleeve opening. I'll secure with my pin, and then I will go ahead and stitch at 1/2 inch. So I will pin the other side too, and I will go ahead to stitch. So I'm going to stitch at 1/2 inch like I said, and I'll also do the same, put it together, stitch before the notch and leave my sleeve opening. So after stitching, here is my sleeve opening. You can see my sleeve opening right now. So next is to turn the sleeve opening. I'm going to run a hemming stitch on the sleeve on both sides. Then I'll also repeat the same for the other side. So I'm done running my hemming stitch and this is what I got. So the next thing we are going to do now, I ironed it open to the shoulder seam lines. Later I'm going to weave it. So we are going to close up the hip side and now leave the rest of it open. So from the sleeve opening, I will stitch up to the point of my notch. So you can see where I have the hip notch. So I'll secure the hip notch with my pin, and then I'll move over to stitch the sides from the sleeve opening. So I will go to the machine now and I will stitch 1/2 inch. So I'm going to repeat the same process. From this point I will stitch 1/2 inch. I'll also stitch 1/2 inch on the other side. Then I'll leave this part opening that open. That is the triangular piece. Then later I will hem it. So I'm going to do all of this on my ironing table and on the machine right now. So I'll first close by 1/2 inch. I will close by 1/2 inch to my sleeve opening. So I'm done closing and this is what I got. I hemmed it to give it a good press. So if you turn to the wrong side of the dress, this is where we stitched from. Okay, so I ironed them open. So I made sure I ironed it open. Then later I'm going to serge or weave that part. So that is how we come to the end of this tutorial. You can see this dress is very simple. So you can make as many as possible in few minutes. So if this class was helpful to you, why not subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification bell. I upload videos on this channel every day. Please kindly like, share this video to family and friends, turn on your notification bell to receive more videos every day on this channel. See you in the next one.